I already did that. We're gonna go through here and we are going, why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Share screen, computer, share computer sound. Okay. Can y'all see? Yes?
Yes. Yes, I can see.
If you want to follow along at home, we're in our reading tile.
Do we go to this Nearpod?
Yeah, you can go to it if you want to. So what page is it? Yeah. It's reading and it's modules, and I think it's the one that says 1019. Good stuff. All right. Reading and writing workshop. Spelling, like I said, it's a review week, so we won't have any new spelling words. AJ, pay attention. But let's go over our academic vocabulary. Let's see. How come there's no AC here? Can y'all see it? There is one. At home, can y'all see my screen? Yes? There is. Okay. We're following along. In a few minutes, we're going to have to use our academic vocabulary. Contribute. If I say, hey, over this way. If I say, let's contribute to the homeless shelter, that means to what? To what? If I'm going to contribute to the homeless, what does contribute mean? It's up here. To donate or assist. If I said, let's contribute during Christmas, let's contribute to the toy drive. That means we're going to donate or we're going to assist, right? Or sometimes at the beginning of the school year, you'll also see those things at HEB that say like donate for school supplies, right?
Yeah, my family when it's this year, when we get new toys.
Or donate your old ones?
Yeah, we're gonna donate our own.
I normally donate every year. I normally donate for toy supplies. They pay $100. A habit. So that's the usual practice. Adrian, pay attention, has a bad habit of reading when he's not supposed to. So his usual practice. He's usually doing it when he's not supposed to. Normally I wouldn't frown upon him reading when he's not supposed to, but sometimes he's reading when we're going over something really important. Habit. What is a good habit you may have? Somebody tell me. What's a good habit? What?
If you have a good habit of listening.
Listening. Some of y'all have a good habit of listening. Habit you have? Paying attention? Right. What's a good habit you have? I'm gonna come to AJ and you think about it, okay? AJ. Listening. So something that you usually do. Adrian, do you have a good habit?
School or like
Just in general, like a good habit you may have at home. Maybe you always put your trash in the trash can, or maybe you always, a good habit at school, maybe you always push in your chair.
I have a good habit.
One at a time, Adrian. Of what?
I have a good habit of taking care of my
So,
brother.
Adrian's good habit is taking care of his brother.
How do I go to?
I have a habit of cleaning my room.
So a good habit of cleaning your room. So habits can be good or they can be bad. Ozzy, what was that?
Which time do I go to?
Reading. Natalie has a good habit of always coming to school. Some of y'all have good habits of always coming to school. Jacob, one more. That's it. There. Some of y'all have a bad habit with your handwriting. Exposed. So reveal or unprotected. If I say I exposed the gift, that means like I revealed it or opened it. Exposed, to show, unprotected, I guess. Maybe the doctor exposed the illness that the man was having. Significant, important or relevant. So significant. So Fridays are significant to y'all. They're important. Why? Because we're always testing, aren't they? And if you miss your Fridays, you come back on Monday and be behind, or you're going to have to stay with me during PE some of your days because you have to catch up because they're significant. They're important. They have a lot of information. They have a lot of testing. And you do not want to miss a Friday and a Monday because then you're really behind. You're going to be testing literally all day on your weekend. Yeah, because it's a new week. So Mondays are important because it's a new week. Severe. Who thinks they? I should have said severe, harsh, or serious, Jacob. So yes. So Jacob said Christopher Columbus was harsh to the Indians. He was, I guess, severe. I'm trying to think. Christopher Columbus treated the Indians not severely. That wouldn't be harshly, I guess, or trying to think of the way to use that in a sentence. Ray. Christopher Columbus. Besides using harsh, but yeah, severe. So like a severe storm may be harsh, right? Or severe injury. Dak Prescott had a severe injury, didn't he? He like broke his leg. It was severe. It was harsh. It was gross. Yeah. So these are the words you just went over. Contribute. Word form contribute. I'm sure. Yeah, probably. Michael, glue this in your science journal real fast. Let's see. Let's keep going. Woo! Let's explore workshop. So, are y'all following? Are some of y'all following along at home? Research workshop. Let's explore our Unity networks. Let's compare. Think back to our reading selection this 6 weeks. So we read about Twins in Space, which was the two brothers, the Scott brothers, right? And then Reaching for the Moon was Buzz Aldrin.
Which one do I go to my modules?
It should be Monday, 10/19. Come on.
And his mother's name was like Moon.
That was his something, yeah, right? So in what ways are these settings of Twins in Space and Reaching for the Moon alike? So the setting is what? What is the setting? You can tell me what the setting is for the story. No, what's the setting? What is setting? Hey, you're gonna stand up. Huh? The setting? What's the setting? Who can tell me what the setting is of the story? Where it happened, where it was. So how are these settings? Somebody at home, I want you to answer this question. In what ways are these settings of Twins in Space and Reaching the Moon, Reaching for the Moon alike? Who can tell me how they were alike? The settings. You're glitchy. I can't hear you. How are those settings alike? Where did they take place, or where were they going? Ray, you're going to be standing.
They were going. Well, the thing about the Twins in Space, one of them wasn't.
No, but think of Twins in Space and then Reaching for the Science.
I mean, it says the twins are in space. No, what you trying to say?
Keep it up here and then I'll figure it out later. What was that, Mariah? Sorry.
Like, what do you mean about the title, the Twins in Space? Like, how was
What were the stories like? Where did they both take place? The setting is where they take place. Jacob. The setting of the story. Where did the story happen? Where was it happening? Both of those.
Well, in space and Earth.
So the setting is that they both were taking place in space. Adrian, close it. You're stand up. You got 5 minutes. 1:25. They were both in space, weren't they? They were both taking place in space. They did go both. They both went to space. Both settings took place in space. Look at that. You got it right. Yes. Settings are happening where they both take place. So in order, let me make sure we don't have to write this down. I don't think so. That we know of because we haven't been able to go to other planets. Or we did go to Mars, but I guess they didn't find life on Mars. So like life, is that what you mean? Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't been able to explore other. Let's compare different. So, not to continue. Okay. Buzz Aldrin describes landing on the surface of the moon. Twins in Space describe living in the International Space Station. Oh, okay. So we're correct. Okay, page
199.
199. Look at you. How'd you know it's page 199? Page 199. Ooh. Page 199.
Here.
Hey, you're gonna lose your recess. Where's your book? Page 199. 198? Yes. And your might be
199.
199. Or 198. My bad. Putting on the wrong page. I don't know if I like this page. What? I don't know if I like this page. To be honest with you, maybe we're not gonna do this page. I don't really like it. I don't know that I like this page. I might skip this page. Alright, maybe we're gonna skip this page. We might be skipping this page at home. Oh, where did my thing go? Oh no. We might be skipping that page because I don't really like it that much. Where did it go? I know it did not just. It did. It completely exited out of that Nearpod. Are you kidding me? Hold on, guys. It completely exited. Exited. That doesn't make sense. It completely took me out of that Nearpod. How dare you? Hold on. It took me completely out of that Nearpod. What a. I don't think I want to do that page because I didn't like it. I didn't like that page. Oh, there it is. Ooh, okay, yeah. Change your plans. I don't like that page, so we're gonna keep going. Where is my? Oh, right here. No. That's not what I want to share. Why is it so large? We're not going to do a page right now. We're going to start talking about research. If this thing ever... Hold on. I'm trying to move it. Okay. So I changed the plans. Y'all at home. Can y'all see my screen with the research girl in the video? Y'all too. Pay attention. Come on.
Yes.
We're going to start talking about research and what we're going to be doing this week. Writing wise, we're going to look at these brochures and talk about some research. Let's see. What? A lot.
How to write a research paper for kids. Episode 1, Brainstorming. So, what is a research paper? You write a research paper to teach other people information. You can use books, websites, apps, or other resources to help you research or find information on a topic. So first, if you don't have a topic yet, you need to brainstorm some ideas. I need to write a research paper about animals, so I'm going to brainstorm some animals that I'm interested in. I will use a graphic organizer to help me brainstorm. I put the
That would be a circle map, which we're gonna go over again, which we haven't talked about since probably the first 6 weeks. And that one uses like that one's like that, but we're gonna use a circle map. But
I put the topic in the middle and my ideas on the outside. So let's see, what are some different animals I would like to research? I don't know very much about bats. I've never seen one in real life. That could be interesting. Or I've always liked horses. Maybe I could research them. Sometimes I see butterflies in my yard and I wonder what they're doing. Or maybe I could research pandas. I've seen some funny panda videos online. Now I need to choose which one I'm the most interested in. I think I will choose bats. I'm very curious about bats, and I think other people will be interested in them too. So now I'm ready to get started. Watch episode 2 to see how I start to plan my research.
what? Episode 2. So we're going to be talking about today historical landmarks. I think I mentioned it earlier. Historical landmarks. Luckily, I got my brochures from when I went to Washington, D.C. What? Yeah, well, I'll pass some of those around in a little bit. So, essential questions. How can a place affect how we live? So what about, I think we talked about this when we were talking about Russia. You always bring up Russia. I don't know. How can a place affect how we live? So living here gives us plenty of what? What lives in the water, I guess. That could be one. Fish.
A whale.
Not around here, but what kind of food lives in the ocean? I guess. Shrimp, so seafood. Seafood, there's a lot of,
Octopus.
yeah, so there's plenty of seafood. But what if you live like in, we'll say you live in Kansas. Kansas is in the middle of the United States. Are they near a body of water?
No.
Probably not, right? So they're yeah, but are they by a large body of water? No. So they probably don't have access to fish like we do on a regular basis, or they can go one day after work and go get fish like we can. I mean, they probably have lakes, but they're still not, I don't think Colorado's on near the coast so much. It is a little more inland. So I think I also too I had mentioned like if we live down, you live down here, I think it was, what did it say? Was it oysters? Oysters aren't that big around here, but like if you go up to the northeast, that's a business they have plenty of. In the summertime, they go oystering. They have boats and they'll go out and they'll spend all day long trying to catch oysters. Down here, that's not a big thing. Shrimp is big down here.
On Saturday, I went fishing with my dad.
So yeah, that's how I guess it can affect how you live. You can go fishing whenever you want to, but if you live in places that you don't have access to water, maybe you will not be able to do that. Like in Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, they're in the middle of the United States. Let's read historical landmarks. Who can tell me or give me an example of a historical landmark? Jacob, which one? Huh? A lighthouse? A lighthouse? Yes, that would be a historical landmark. The White House. Yes, sorry, I think it's the White House. Yes, the White House. Maybe what else? What's that big thing in New York called?
The Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
What else? The Eiffel Tower would probably be one. What's an example of a historical landmark that y'all can think of at home, maybe?
On the Harbor Bridge.
I don't think that's historical. Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge may be a historical landmark. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
One at a time. She's talking. Raise your hand. The White House? The Pentagon? Where's that? Do you know where it's at? It's white. It's just like the Pentagon. Jacob.
Twin Towers.
He
Twin
just
Towers?
did. I don't know because you're gonna be standing. What else? Somebody at home, give me an example of historical landmark.
Wait, I'm just Twin Towers.
What? What's in Austin, Jacob? The state capitol. That's probably a historical landmark.
Why is Dr. Lizard in New York? Well, I know another place that's
Yes. Oh, the monument, the Washington Monument. That's a historical landmark. That big pointy thing, like 500 or something.
I don't know. It's like,
Oh, here we go. Here's our virtual
that's why,
pictures. I'm guessing this looks like New York. I can't really see.
that's what my grandma me and my stepbrother did one time.
We're taking a virtual field trip. This looks like New York, I think.
Into the VR version.
I can't.
Wait, this is.
I don't see Twin Towers, so I can't tell if it's New York or not. Let's see.
They weren't.
Whoa.
Four. Okay. I don't. We were trying to figure out what bell this is, but this isn't the Liberty Bell because I have a picture of the Liberty Bell that I can show you. It's not the Liberty. I have a picture of the Liberty Bell. It's not an actual Liberty. This isn't the Liberty Bell.
Where is this?
Philadelphia. Oh, there. Oh, whoa. This is not the Liberty Bell. I don't know what this is.
Are you in VR?
It's on there. There's a homeless person sleeping on the bed. There's a homeless person.
Oh, no,
that's
this is
really
almost cold. That's
There's a homeless person sleeping on it.
No, it's not the homeless person.
No, this is like the VR. Okay, let's see what else we see. Maybe like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where this. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out where this is. I can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't tell.
I'm guessing it's New York, but I can't tell what all this is. I don't know. Okay, let's exit VR. Let's see. We'll do another one. There's another one.
I can't believe we saw it.
I know, right? Come on.
It's like,
This is looks like a some mountains. Jacob, go sit down. I will give you an opportunity to get on a computer in a few minutes. Yeah, y'all can do this. Like a national park. This might be a national park. National parks are national landmarks. AJ, pay attention. So, historical landmarks. Underline unfamiliar words, circle sections of the article that you think are interesting, put stars next to the articles that you think about further questions. Actually, let me try something else. I want to take a virtual field trip. You might do one. I could take you on a virtual.
Miss the homeless man was the landmark.
He's not a historical landmark.
if he wasn't, he would be
Hold on. Historical landmark. I should probably put 4K. Oh, Mount Rushmore.
I forgot about the wall.
Hold on.
Wait, how did they even make that? Like, it must have took them probably a long time to make that thing.
It looks like
29 minutes.
It looks like
Mount Rushmore. Mount
it
Rushmore.
looks like it took them like 10 years.
Oh, it took them way longer than that. Let's see this one. Let's start here. This whole video, but-
Wherever I go, I like to look for things called landmarks, which is what this video is all about. And
So, landmarks are what this video is about. Famous landmarks, so historic landmarks. They have some importance to them. At home, can y'all see? Shake your head if you can see. Okay.
Yes, Pikachu.
Might be wondering, what is a landmark? What are landmarks? Well, landmarks are things that help you identify where you are. For example, if you see this landmark,
If you see that landmark, you'll know where that's at, right? Paris. Paris, yes. Paris is University. Most of the world Paris.
Imagine climbing up there.
Yeah. Okay.
called the Eiffel Tower, you know you are in Paris, France. Or if you see Big Ben, you know
Oh, do you know where Big Ben is? This one's not a Big Ben.
England.
Vita, where are you at?
England.
London, yes. Good job.
you are in London, England. In this video, we are going to be learning about famous landmarks. Let's start out with a natural landmark that
I don't know where that's at.
I don't even know.
New York, Canada. The big waterfall. New York
That looks really cool.
Falls.
is incredibly powerful. Niagara Falls. So, what exactly is Niagara Falls? Well, it is a group of 3 waterfalls on the border of the United States and Canada. Here, we'll show you on the map. Niagara Falls is right here on the map, on the border of Canada and the United States. One of the falls is mostly in Canada. The other 2 are in the United States. The biggest waterfall of the 3 is called Horseshoe Falls, or Canadian Falls, depending on who you ask. It is called Horseshoe Falls because of its shape. It looks like a horseshoe. Many people also call it Canadian Falls because end of the palace.
I can see how it looks like a
Oh, this
horseshoe.
huge clock tower at the Palace of Westminster in London.
Vita already said this is London. England's an historical landmark.
Why is it called Big Ben? That's a good question. To be honest, we don't know. No, seriously, we don't. No one does. There are rumors and stories, but we don't know for sure. Even stranger, the real name for the tower is Elizabeth Tower, a name it was given in 2012 in honor of the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II. Before that, it was simply called the Clock Tower by many, which is a very honest name, isn't it? That is exactly what Big Ben is. It's a clock tower. Now, while we may not know why it is called Ben, we do know why it is called big. It is 315 feet tall. That's huge. Of course, the clock itself is massive too. The hour hand is 9 feet long, and the minute hand is 14 feet long.
That means it's 9 of these squares at one hand. That tells you how big that clock is.
Oh my god, that's actually really big.
Huge.
Like the clock, one of those things as big as a human, 9 feet.
Wow, that's a big clock. Not only is the clock huge, it is lit at night. It's like a huge night light. Imagine Big Ben has been a reliable and accurate way of keeping track of time. Not just because Big Ben
Distance has been on all of our minds lately. That we've been too close to some.
Big Ben displays the time, there are also 5 bells will for future generations. What a beautiful landmark. If you ever visit London, you will see Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower. You will hear the chimes. You'll tell the person next to you that Big Ben is 315 feet tall. You can tell them that Big Ben has 5 bells, 4 of them smaller, and 1 great bell. You could tell them, you know, that building it's attached to, that's the Palace of Westminster, okay? You might take a picture. Eat a sandwich, walk around.
It's kind of scary when they work up there. It's like they're gonna fall.
Wear a hat. Okay, all right, we're done. Cool. Now we are going to learn.
The Lincoln Memorial. I said that.
Learn about a landmark in Washington, D.C.
That's Washington, D.C.
called the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial is an American monument in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. As you could probably tell from the name, the Lincoln Memorial honors Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln is most famous for being the President of the United States during the Civil War and abolishing slavery. He was one of the most influential presidents in American history. We mentioned earlier that the Lincoln Memorial is in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. The Lincoln Memorial is in a section of Washington, D.C. called the National Mall. Can you say?
So there's also the Washington Monument I was just talking about. And then you look in the far back, you've got the White House. So it's in the National Mall.
Wasn't that when Spider-Man like Far From Home or like Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming. That was when they like on the building and you walk.
I don't think you can go up here.
Oh yeah, you can. There's like an elevator.
I don't know.
The National Mall? The National Mall. The National Mall is a big park in downtown Washington, D.C., with many important historical monuments. Right down here, you can see the Lincoln Memorial. Hi, Lincoln Memorial. How you doing? Next, we are going to learn about the Great Wall of...
So slow. The Great Wall of China. This one's
China.
Yeah, it's like I think 2,000-3,000 miles long.
That's cool.
Okay.
But it just looks like stairs going everywhere.
of China.
Where are those stairs heading to?
Adapted Mind Math! Come explore the site with me. I'm in first grade, so I'll pick that. Neato! A fun fishing adventure!
A little more. Probably just... Oh my goodness. I hate it. This internet.
What happened to it?
I don't know. The internet is being
You do what I do. I like put it all the way to the back and I put it where I was.
The Great Wall of China is the longest wall in the world. How cool, how fun, how interesting is that? There's not a single wall that's longer than the Great Wall. The Great Wall is the longest wall in the world. And it's the biggest ancient structure ever built. You might be wondering, how big, how long is this thing, okay? The Great Wall of China is over 13,000 miles long. Wow, think of it. A wall that's 13,000 miles long. Now, as the name implies, because it's called the Great Wall of China, the Great Wall of China is in China! And this is the flag, the Chinese flag.
Do you know where South Dakota is? South Dakota is here in the Midwestern United States. And this is where Mount Rushmore is.
Wait, Mr. Agnes.
Mount Rushmore is a monument. A monument is...
On accident, I think.
What?
I think you changed it on accident.
You not see it?
No, did you change the theme?
something that is made to give honor
Like that house, like that like things, that big thing, with all the things in there. Yeah. Aren't there like all the things that like cities and stuff? Is that the only place that like cities?
to a person or an event. This monument gives honor to 4 United States presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
Before the monument was made, the mountain was already named after a man named Charles Rushmore. Charles Rushmore was a lawyer from New York. He visited the Black Hills in the 1880s. Over 400 people worked to carve Mount Rushmore out of stone. That's a lot of people. Carving is changing something's appearance by cutting it. The workers used explosives like dynamite for a lot of the carving. They used smaller tools for the details on the president's faces and to smooth it out. A South Dakota state historian thought of the idea for the monument as a way to bring more visitors to the state. The historian originally wanted the faces of different people on Mount Rushmore, but the artist he hired said more people would come to see the presidents. Mount Rushmore started being made in the 1920s. Work on it began in 1927, and it was finished in 1941, which was 14 years later. That's a long time. The artist wanted the monument to show more of the president's upper bodies. But the United States was getting ready for war in 1941, so the money for finishing Mount Rushmore stopped coming. Some Native American groups don't like the monument because the land used to belong to them.
Well, because the land was theirs and they built around Mount Rushmore. I'm surprised
Then why did they destroy it?
they didn't destroy it. They took over the land that they were living on to build Mount Rushmore. I'm surprised they've never completed Mount Rushmore.
Why did they take over the land?
Build Mount Rushmore.
After when the World War One was ended, they kind of started still building it.
I don't know why they've never finished. That's interesting. Well, they didn't complete the bodies or anything. So let's keep moving on. That was enough for historical landmarks. I don't know. Y'all been chatting this whole time. Let's see what historical landmarks are. Okay. Let's listen to this real fast, and then we will go on our break. Okay? Pay attention to what historical landmarks are.
Historic landmarks. Historic landmarks are places that tell us stories about the past, but not every old building can become a landmark. In order to become a historic landmark, a place must tell a story. That is important to all Americans.
We're going to be doing this in a few minutes. Think of maybe landmarks here in Corpus. What's some famous places here in Corpus that people be thinking on when you're on your break and stuff? We're going to come back and discuss. We'll see. But here in Corpus, we're thinking of here in Corpus, okay?
We don't really have
A landmark should be related to an important person or an event in American history. A landmark could also be the best example of a special style of building. Historic districts can become landmarks. A historic district is a group of buildings that all have something in common. This could be the style they were built in, or it could be the purposes they once served. In the 19th century, Virginia City, Montana was the site of a gold rush. Today, it is a historic district that preserves the homes and workplaces of those who come in search of fortune. Archaeological sites that contain bones can also become landmarks. In Arizona, there is a landmark called Snaketown. Here, archaeologists have found the bones of American Indians who lived more than 1,000 years ago. When we learn about landmarks, we can learn about history. Landmarks help us understand where we come from. They can also help us figure out where we are going.
Okay. So, during your break.
Wait, Miss Hernandez.
What?
I need to ask you something. Is the Alamo a landmark in a river walk in San Antonio?
Historical landmarks, yes, in San Antonio, but we need to think of landmarks here in Corpus. So on your break, come back at 2:05. We're going to discuss and we're going to be writing down historical landmarks here in Corpus. Got it?
Okay. At what time?
One at a time. Start raising your hand.
205. Okay.
205, RJ.
Okay.
Here when 3 or 4 of y'all are asking questions. I can only hear when one of y'all is answering questions. Be back at 205.